We also, unfortunately, had another fatality, and we grieve that loss as well. And as of a few minutes ago, 2 individuals were still listed as missing. Let's hope those numbers do not get worse. We took a big hit over the past few days, and I want to thank the people of Connecticut for hanging in there. We did our best to protect you and stand with you, and now it's our job to get people's lives back to normal as quickly as possible. That may take some time, but we won't rest until it happens. It became clear to us early last evening that the worst-case scenario we had been predicting for days might well occur and was, in fact, occurring. Despite our warnings that we were facing a potential of historic flooding and the evacuation of Category 4 nature was in order, it became clear that potentially thousands of people who had not been evacuated were in harm's way. I did not want the people who were stranded to try to move through dangerous waters in an attempt to escape their homes, and I wanted anyone who could be evacuated to be evacuated. We are doing our best this morning to get on-the-ground assessments in those impacted shoreline towns, and when we have specific numbers in terms of property damage, evacuations that occurred, missing people, and the recovery effort that has succeeded, we will update you. I hope to have firm numbers on the types of activities later today, though as you can imagine, when an event of this magnitude occurs, those numbers will be constantly changing. Right now, my attention is 100% focused on getting people's lives back to normal as quickly as possible. Let me give you a few updates on various activities that are going on around the state. We have lifted the travel ban on our state's highways. Having that ban in place no doubt prevented loss of life and major accidents from occurring, so I want to thank everyone who complied with it. Non-essential state employees have been asked to report to work, have been asked not to report to work today, and all school systems across the state are closed. My assumption is that state employees will report to work tomorrow as scheduled, but we'll give firm direction on that later today based on facilities that have power. All local school systems across the state are closed, as I said. The State Department of Motor Vehicles is closed. As of a few minutes ago, approximately 630,000 customers were still without power. I've made clear to the utility companies that their job is to get that power back as quickly as possible, and they understand that, I can assure you. I'm going to spend much of the day with the Lieutenant Governor traveling around the state so that we can both see firsthand the damage that has been done, as well as understand the intensity of the efforts to return Connecticut to its normal position. With that, I'll take a few questions.
Governor, there's another high tide coming in midday today. Expected to be less and more of the same?
About a foot and a half. The current estimates are that it would be about a foot and a half less than yesterday's daytime high tide.
Can you talk about the situation in Bridgeport? I know the National Guard is helping out with state police there. They are concerned about potential looting or vandalism.
Well, there's some really good news to report about Bridgeport, and that is that the assets that we went to great lengths to protect, specifically the substations that could have been flooded due to extraordinary efforts, were not flooded. So that's the good news. Once they've had an opportunity to get in and see the underground vault system in Bridgeport, a determination will be made as to how quickly that system can go on. But we are in so much better position right now because of the extraordinary efforts to isolate those substations from flooding, which would have otherwise occurred. We'll keep you posted on that. With respect to working with Bridgeport, we have shared assets. We'll continue to share assets. We'll respond in any way that we can. But there's no doubt that turning that system off, putting all of our efforts into making sure that the substations were not impacted adversely, will allow us to restore energy much more rapidly than we would have otherwise been in a position to do.
We have a lot of downstate residents, actually everywhere, who work in Manhattan. What's the status on Metro North? I know that Lower Manhattan has some serious problems. Maybe we heard from New York. Can you tell us the status?
Some of my team is in communication with New York, particularly our DOT commissioner. Extraordinary damage has been done to the underground system in New York, particularly in Lower Manhattan, as well as the PATH trains in New Jersey. I think we can only assume that it's going to take a period of time to restore that system and therefore allow our Connecticut residents to get to jobs within Manhattan when Manhattan is open for business. Metro North on our end of the line will be doing reconnaissance so that we'll have an understanding, most likely later today, as to the ability of our portion of the system to transport people in and out of Grand Central, which is the primary depository of our residents.
Interstate 95 and the Parkway open.
Interstate 95 and the Parkway are open. Obviously, the Parkway is subject. There's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving going on for some period of time, and we will have a wind condition through this afternoon. But yes, those roads are open.
What about the transit?
Transit service is being restored as we can. I think that restoration in Hartford will take place, or may already be actually at 12 o'clock. Other locations will depend on circumstances as we understand them. We'll try to push that information out by electronic announcement, but I anticipate that we can get buses up and running fairly quickly today or tomorrow.
Any initial feedback on the new system with communications, with coordination with utilities and county officials?
I think things, by and large, went well. There were a couple. I think there's some, you got utilities that have a set of concerns. You have municipal officials that got a set of concerns. You've got everybody who wants to be in charge, but they seem to have worked most of that stuff out. We will have a municipal call, so I'll be here through the municipal call, and then I'm going to hit the road for a while and see what's going on around the state. Folks are working on that itinerary as we speak, and I'm sure we'll share it with you as soon as we have it. No, I think we're going to cancel the noontime briefing. We're going to go to the 6 o'clock briefing so that I can actually spend some time. Otherwise, I'm trapped here in Hartford. So if there's any briefing at 12 o'clock, it won't be by us, and I don't think we'll organize an official briefing.
Will you feel some of the work that's been done over state level and with the utilities and tree cutting and maybe leveling from some of the previous storms that we did a lot better this time around?
We did a lot better this time around. We've taken some heat over tree trimming. I understand that in the past, but if you look at the numbers at the height of this storm, which actually had higher wind. Now I know we didn't have as many leaves on the trees versus the last storm. It leads me to believe that some good has been accomplished. Clearly, everyone. We had a nice long warning to this storm.